Hello, we're education mental health practitioners and this video looks at self-esteem. Together we will look at what positive and negative self-esteem are, how self-esteem affects us and what we can do to improve it. Do you have a piece of paper and pen handy? It might be helpful to pause this video to draw and write some things down as we go along.
The aims of this video are to help us think about self-esteem, to look at ways we can improve our self-esteem and create our own action plans to help us.
Self-esteem is our ability to value ourselves. It is slightly different to self-confidence, which refers to our sense of being able to do something successfully. Self-esteem is the overall opinion we have for ourselves. The opinion we have for ourselves can affect how we feel and how we behave.
Positive self-esteem means we genuinely have positive opinions about ourselves, such as, I am good enough, and I am happy with who I am. Having positive self-esteem can help us feel happy with ourselves, meaning we are more able to participate in what we enjoy doing, as well as trying new things. Negative self-esteem means we genuinely have negative opinions about ourselves, such as, I am not good enough, and I am unhappy with who I am. Having negative self-esteem can have a negative impact on how we feel about ourselves, making it more difficult to participate in what we enjoy doing and trying new things.
Learning to understand our self-esteem can help us improve it. Looking after your own self-esteem, can you recognise some of the opinions you have about yourself as positive and negative? If you would like to, you can press pause now whilst you draw some thought bubbles and write some of the opinions you have about yourself inside the thought bubbles. Try to have a little think about each opinion and see if you can recognise which opinions are positive and which ones are negative. Perhaps you could mark the positive ones with one colour and the negative ones with a different colour.
When we have negative self-esteem, we can become self-critical. We can begin to have opinions like, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, or it's my fault. These negative opinions can make us believe thoughts such as, I'm going to do badly, or I'm going to fail, which can make us feel sad, hurt, angry, frustrated, anxious, ashamed, and guilty. These thoughts and feelings can affect our behaviors. For example, we can stop doing the things we enjoy, we can avoid trying new things, and neglect ourselves. Each of these elements fuels the negative opinions we have of ourselves, and they can begin to grow. The more negative opinions grow, the worse we feel about ourselves, and so a negative cycle, like this one, can develop.
Now we are going to look at what we can do to break the negative cycle from developing. By making small changes, we can improve the way we think about ourselves by learning to change the way we manage the thoughts and feelings that may come from the negative opinion. We can break the cycle.
Here are a few ways we can learn to manage our negative opinions about ourselves. Do you have any ideas of how you can recognise how self-esteem makes you think, feel, and behave? Perhaps we could use the thought bubbles like we did just to write down our negative opinions. Who do you think you could talk to about this? Parents? Teachers? We're going to talk about positive self-talk in a moment. We can use mindful activities. This will be different for everyone. One of my favourite mindful activities is walking, but this could be reading, colouring, or baking. And we can all learn to be kind to ourselves. How do you think we can do this?
Using the strategies we just spoke about, we can learn to break the cycle. So instead of the cycle going from negative to negative, we can put in place one of the strategies to make a positive change.
Now, we're going to look at our self-esteem in different areas of our lives. Self-esteem is not a constant state, meaning it is not always positive or negative. It goes between both during different areas and stages of our lives. Sometimes, when our self-esteem is negative, it is hard to see that positive self-esteem is possible. Being able to look at separate areas of our lives can help us focus on which areas we may have lower self-esteem and negative opinions of ourselves than in others. For example, we may feel positive about ourselves during art classes, but not so great in maths classes, or the other way round. And it might be more difficult for us to have positive self-esteem after we lose a race, or don't do as well as we had thought during a test. We may have more positive opinions of ourselves surrounding our schoolwork, but more negative opinions about ourselves surrounding our personality or appearance. It is important that we recognize how different areas of our lives and different situations can affect our self-esteem.
To help us look at the different areas of our lives, we can break down each part, looking at what we like, what it looks like, and what it sounds like. For example, for someone looking at the personal area, they may feel good about themselves for being funny, but that sometimes they feel sad about the way their hair looks. This would look like they were happy and confident, but sometimes can look upset, particularly when getting ready or going to the hairdressers. This would sound like they often make people laugh, but can sometimes talk about how they dislike their hair. If you would like to, you can pause the video here to draw or write in the boxes like this what you think your self-esteem feels, looks, and sounds like for the different areas of your life.
As we mentioned earlier, one of the ways we can learn to manage our negative opinions of ourselves is by learning to practice positive self-talk. Self-talk is the inner voice that goes on inside our minds. Positive self-talk is when we talk to ourselves in a kind and caring way. It's a way of forming positive opinions of ourselves. Positive self-talk can have a big impact on how we think and feel. Practicing positive self-talk can help us improve our self-esteem, helping us feel better about ourselves. Here are some examples of ways we can begin to practice positive self-talk.
Using the examples we have just spoken about, if you would like to, you can press pause here and draw the outline of a flower and write or draw something positive about yourself in each of the petals. This can be something small, like I am a nice person, or I am proud of myself for going to school every day.
Let's recap. During this video, we have looked at what self-esteem is, how we can have positive and negative self-esteem, how negative self-esteem may affect us, how we can manage negative opinions by breaking the cycle, and how we can use positive self-talk. Now, let's make an action plan.
An action plan can be used as a step-by-step process to help us use what we have learned today. Step 1. Recognize your self-esteem. Ask yourself what negatives and positive opinions you have about yourself. Step 2. Notice how negative self-esteem affects your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Step 3. Practice using positive self-talk and mindful activities. And step 4. Ask yourself how you feel and talk to someone you trust to see if they can help.
Thank you for watching this video, and well done for learning more about self-esteem.